Fingers crossed producer Alec can put some music in off the top. But so I didn't know we had this in common. You can't draw. You can't draw?
I can. How did you know that?
I did my research.
Dude, that's impressive. I'm one of the worst drawing people of all time. I was going to say drawers. Is that a word?
I think so. You think I was going to start up a podcast with you and not do some research? To be fair,
it's impressive, bro.
To be fair, Seahawks.com. Seahawks.com was a decent place to start. I also learned your guilty pleasure is Krispy Kreme donuts. So,
dude, that's got to be old. I haven't had cream in a minute, bro. That's got to be an old ass article right there. That might be rookie year or some shit. That would be get to know your rookie tight end.
12 things you probably don't know about Seahawks tight end Luke Willson. August 25th, 2015. This is
okay. Not rookie. Still youngster though. Still youngster. Heading into year 3 right there.
Super Bowl champion Luke Willson. And speaking of Super Bowl champion Luke Willson, welcome into All Time with Luke Willson. My name is Luke Bellus. Thank you for joining us. And Luke, we did it, man. The world needed another podcast, and we've started a podcast.
One. You're damn right, bro. I mean, here's the thing. We're coming with some heat, bro. We're coming with some heat. You know who doesn't? You know who needs a podcast? So Canada, bro. Canada needs 2 Canadian boys to get out here and bring a little bit back to the homeland. You know what I'm saying? Have a little bit of a relationship with what it's like growing up in Ontario, baby.
Yes, sir. 2 good old Canadian boys chopping it up, talking some football. And I think this is a good place to start for this quick little episode 0. When we were promoting the podcast today on Instagram, shout out to producer Alec for putting everything together. Someone reached out to me and DM'd me, and she asked an interesting question. She said, "You started a podcast with Luke Willson. What is all time? What can I expect?" And I thought, shit, that is a great question to ask Luke to start things off. So, Luke, what can the people expect from the All Time podcast?
Well, I don't know a definite answer to that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if I have an absolute answer. I think it's a fluid situation. I would say that I've never really gambled on sports before. You know, obviously we weren't allowed. And I'm not bullshit. I never had. And then all of a sudden, you know, I kind of got roped into the FanDuel thing. And bro, I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying trying to crack FanDuel. It really tickles my heart when we get a dub and you kind of like thread the needle. You know, I enjoyed dumping on some of the stats guys a little bit. So I think there'll be some gambling in here. I also, sentimental note, Luke, sentimental note.
Sentimental guy.
For me, one of the things I've always wanted to do is kind of grow the game of football in Canada. I know this isn't just a Canadian podcast, but it's kind of like, hey, man, I think this podcast will kind of give a little bit of a perspective from a Canadian kid, you know, who played the majority of his football stateside.
Not too bad. I mean, hey, you got a little deep on this there, right? And I mean,
yeah, that's about as deep as I get right there.
that might be the philosophy major in you coming out too. So I think, you know, what is all time? Maybe I think we're gonna have to dive into, because the philosophy major. I'm picturing a young Luke Willson sitting at Rice taking down notes on philosophy, but we're gonna have to get into that another time. You know, you mentioned some sports gambling stuff, maybe some football chat. Before we wrap up this episode 0, because we do value our listeners' time, we don't want to take up too much right now, right? It is a Thursday after all. Let's get into Thursday night football, and what better way for us to start this thing off with a little same game parlay that we're going to be submitting to FanDuel, the weekly single. It's sitting at about 10-1 right now. It's got 4 legs, and I know 3 of them you are a really big fan of and have brought to the table. I brought a 4th one to the table myself. So let's get into the 3 that have tickled your fancy so far.
Okay, well, I'm going to start off with this is a strange one, but I'm going to start with the second half over for the Bills at 11.5 points. Okay, hear me out on this. Luke. First off, this offense can score at will. So I do think the game will be somewhat close. And if they blow them out, I don't necessarily think it'll be right off the bat. I look at Bill Belichick, and I think that the Patriots' best edge in this game is Bill and their coaching staff and their preparation. So will Bill come out and have a new wrinkle for this Bills offense? You would think, will the Bills handle it? They could. But my thought is, and you've seen this the last few games where I'm like, all right, even if you stop the Bills early, it takes so much and they can hit you in so many different ways. Diggs, Davis, Singletary, the youngster Cook, Josh Allen throwing the ball, Josh Allen running the ball. I think Dawson Knox is getting involved more and more now. So it's like, it's kind of that, you just keep throwing haymakers and eventually you break them. 11.5 points in the entire second half of the Bills offense, especially if it's close and need to score. That's like one for me.
Yeah, I mean, like, you got to think, it makes a ton of sense, right? Belichick at home, Thursday Night Football. They're even if it is going to be a bit of a blowout, you got to think that comes later in the game, right? They're going to come out and give Buffalo a good punch to start the game. So I like that because I think we see teams like the Patriots that don't have as much talent. They can stick around with a team as talented as the Bills on pure like work ethic and just like grit and muscle and go get it. But
Patriot way right there. Who is this guy, man? You been in the Patriots locker room?
My old single A hockey coach, Carlos Souza, used to tell us all the time. He was like, these guys might be able to skate with us for 2 periods, but when we get midway through the third, they can't skate with us. And when the Patriots and Bills get through that second half, Patriots might not be able to hang with them. I like that over. You mentioned Josh Allen, right? So you looking passing or you looking rushing? Let the people know.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with the second leg, Josh Allen rush. I mean, I think he's gonna throw the ball well, but what I kind of see again is like I give a lot of props. I think this is fair. I'm not like, this isn't some new info right here, but I think Bill Belichick is a pretty highly respected coach, especially a team that's in his division. He knows pretty well. This is nothing's gonna come as a surprise to him today.
Breaking news, Breaking news. Bill Belichick,
yeah,
good
not
coach.
breaking news here. Good coach. That's right. So I'm like, okay. Bill will come out. He'll have his boys prepped. He'll have his guys ready to rumble. Their playoffs on the line here. Not do or die, but it will certainly help with a win. It's like, again, I keep thinking they'll throw some wrinkles at Josh, just different looks, different coverages. And I may have watched a small clip of Belichick breaking down some Bills film. And do I think Bill is going to tip his cap or tip his pitches, I should say? Absolutely not. But he basically put a couple plays up of Diggs was one and Gabe Davis was another one of them having big plays. And it's like, dude, I love when your screen, there he is. He's back in focus now.
Hey, this camera's brutal. I got to figure out some settings with it, man. It brings me in and out. It's brutal.
So
go on.
I think Bill's going to be like, hey, if we want to win this game, we got to run the ball and we got to kind of bend, don't break defense. And that means no big plays. That means, so we got to bracket guys, we got to shade safeties, we got to give different looks. And again, that's where Josh Allen can kill you, is like if they do throw those wrinkles, the guy can use his legs. And he's very physical when he runs. It's bringing him down. 43.5 prime time-ish. I call Thursday prime time, prime time game. Like, yeah, it's not Monday, Monday night to me are the two, those are the games as a player you're like, this is the one you want to play in, not necessarily Thursday, but we'll call it prime time. Right.
Sunday night football. When I remember being a kid watching Sunday Night Football, when the headshots started flashing up, it was like, whoa, like stop the TV. Well, that was, I mean, my favorite part of Sunday Night Football usually was a little jingle leading into the game. You're waiting all day for Sunday night, man. That was woo. That'll get you fired up to watch some football, I'll tell you. But
first ever Sunday night game, rookie year, week 2.
Quick story.
Week 2. Beat the Niners. I think it was 29-3. And this was the good Niners team. And it was it was CenturyLink back then. And I was like, holy shit. Not only did I just play a game on Sunday night, we just slapped the defending NFC champion. Slapped them, bro. That shit was nasty. Let's go.
Your way to
fuck off. Heads up, fuck off.
Hey, on your way to a Super Bowl, though, man. On your way to that's all that mattered that rookie year. So
back to the bet.
But,
yeah,
but this is what you're gonna get. This is right. You never know where things are going to go, how we're going to get there. But hey, we're going to get there. We're 2 legs through so far. We got over 11.5 points in the second half for the Bills, over 45.5 rushing yards for Josh Allen. And then I'm seeing Ramondre Stevenson, 37.5 receiving. Talk to me about this.
Yeah. Again, I think that the game plan will be simple for the Patriots, and a lot of it will be to methodically move the ball down the field. Of course, if there's a shot there, they're going to take it. but they don't want 3 and outs. You want to keep Josh Allen off the field. Keep Josh Allen off the field at all costs. You know what I'm saying? So that's a lot of running the ball, obviously. You look at the inside, you got Ed Oliver, you got Jordan Phillips in there. Both those guys can shut this run game down. They're both healthy now, whatever. I'm not saying they won't be able to run the ball, but to me, it's like they can't just rely on, okay, we're going to run the ball 40 times. So we're going to be doing quick passes. Let's get, some chunks of yards. And Ramondre's a good receiving back. And on the tail end of that, if the Bills get up and it's still a close game, 2-minute drill, 3rd and long, anything like that, I just think he can, dump offs, keep chipping away. We need 38 yards. It would not surprise me, too, if the Bills start getting pressure. How do you slow up pressure sometimes? Let's get a couple running back screens. Let these guys pin their ear back, fire up the field, little screen. That'll slow you down very quickly. So I like that. Those are my 3. And you got the extra special one, though. You got the juicy one, bro. Talk to me.
I like that. I like those 3 legs, and then I think you add in this 4th leg to get to 10-1, and I think it's an interesting one because I think the really easy thing to do when I think about New England Patriots games is say, okay, Belichick's going to take away a team's number 1 option. Belichick is going to take Stephon Diggs out of the game. Let's start looking at some Gabe Davis props. Let's start exploring that. But then I went and took a look at Stephon Diggs against the Patriots since he's arrived in Buffalo, right? 2020, week 8, 6 catches, 92 yards. Easy enough for me to say. Week 16, 9 catches, $145, 3 touchdowns. Okay, so when was the last time you've seen a wide receiver hang that on a Patriots team? Right?
Yeah.
So Diggs and Allen got something going against this team, right? I'm on it. Let me give you a couple more. He had a down game against them in 2021 in week 13, 4 receptions for only 51 yards. Luke, that was the weather game in Buffalo. That was the game Mac Jones only threw 3 times. That game was 14-10. If tomorrow night's game is 14-10, sure, maybe he's going to go under that number. But in week 16, when the Bills beat them 33-21, there was Stephon Diggs, 13 targets, 7 receptions, 85 yards. His number on Thursday night, 84.5. He's gone over this number in every game against the Patriots in the regular season, not involving playing in a wind tunnel.
Let me back you up on this, bro. And I'll tell you why. You would think a guy like me, I don't love the big numbers sometimes. I don't love all these things, but one of the things I like with this bet is you kind of nail I know for a fact Bill Belichick be like, hey, we got to take away their best player, et cetera, et cetera. The problem with taking away Diggs is he's one of the few wide receivers that in my head does it all. And what I mean by that is, you could shut down a certain receiver when it's like, most of his balls are down the field goal balls, or he's running extremely down the field routes. He's not running the quick slant. We don't have to worry about that. We can give safety help over the top. Or it's the opposite. Hey, you've got an underneath guy, a slot guy that can really dice dudes up underneath, really route your ass up, win his one-on-ones. But we're not really worried about him, ripping go balls down the field. I think of like a Wes Welker. You know what I'm saying? I mean, Wes probably caught a go ball here and there, but that was not his go-to. It's like, this dude's going to dice dudes up, Julian Edelman type thing. Where to me, Diggs can do all of it. Diggs can run the go ball, be the deep threat, but also be the guy who, let's motion him down in the slot. Let's have him run a drag. Let's have him run a return route or a whip route, whatever they want to call it in their offense. Let's have him let's throw wide receiver screens to him and have him make a guy miss. So I don't think the whole, let's take this guy out of the game applies and then the other thing is, it's not like this offense isn't decently balanced talent-wise. Diggs is obviously the number 1 guy. But it's like, bro, if we're gonna do this and push our safety to go help and bracket Diggs over the top or make sure we don't get beat deep, Gabe Davis also a dude will beat you deep. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So let's roll with it, bro. 10-1.
It's a high number. 84.5 is a high number, but I do like it, right? So we got the Josh Allen rushing over, Diggs receiving over, Stevenson receiving over, and then over 11.5 points in the second half for the Buffalo Bills. Plus 10-10 at the moment on FanDuel Sportsbook Canada. Shout out to FanDuel Sportsbook Canada for bringing us two together. Think about that. Think about that.
Now, it's kind of wild.
And it's going to be the biggest mistake they ever make.
Facts. That's the biggest
bringing
factor
us
you'll
two
ever say on
together.
the show. And here's my dream, bro. Yeah, here's my dream with this. All right.
Tell the people your dream.
I'm like, yo, it's 10-1. It's 10-1, right? This one's 10-1. Next one could be 3-1. It could be 15-1. We'll see when we get there. But this one tomorrow is 10-1. And my dream is we can get basically an army of guys that are bought in to what Luke and Luke are selling. Okay, hey, this is how we made our bets. Yeah, a couple stats. You brought some stats out. Okay, against Bill, relevant stats. Not stats that make absolutely no sense and the football guys won't, even just consider. For me, on the other hand, I'm sitting over here like, yo, you give me some stats. You're a way better gambler than me. You got more time in the game. I can give you a little like, yo, how does Bill approach games? Yo, how do I see this game unfolding? The bend, don't break. Put those two together, and now all of a sudden people are buying what we're selling. We get 10-1 on this. All right, let's say we get to the point where 100 people bet it, 1,000 people bet it. Let's say we get to the point 1,000 people bet it for $10.
$10.
That's all. $10. So correct me if I'm wrong. That's 10,000. It's 10-1, right?
Yes, sir.
We just slapped FanDuel for 100 G's, baby, as a squad. That is where I dream at, bro. It's like, yo, we end up getting a bunch of people together, just having fun, chopping it up. $10. We're not over here. I mean, don't get me wrong. Some of the legs I like to bet on get a little aggressive. We're not over here trying to, we're not betting big. I'm just being honest. I'm not betting big. It's not really my jam. My jam is let's get the community together. Come on now. Hey, let's get the community together and let's crack FanDuel Canada.
Oh,
let's get it going.
We're gonna crack them. We're
gonna crack them because here's my thing. Once we hit this 10-1, why not? Once we hit this 10-1 on Thursday, because it's gonna happen, bro. This one's rock solid. It is, bro. I don't care. I don't care about the jinx. This one's rock solid.
It's quite good.
We're gonna get 1,000 people. 1,000 people are gonna bet this thing.
Boom.
$10 average. That's where the goal is. We'll see. We crack FanDuel Canada for 100 G's. You know what we're gonna do? We're gonna fire up something for Sunday. And maybe we'll have 1,100 people bet it for $10. And we'll hit that too. And now we cracked them again. Now we're just going.
And then it just goes.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden we got 2,000 people in Ontario just like, bro, we got to tune in. But here's the thing I do say. And this is me shilling a little bit. This is me shilling. I'm going to be a shill. And I'm not a corporate shill. But we hate there's one thing I hate, Luke. It's corporate shills. I hate corporate shills. Nick Bellore taught me that. Shout out Nick Bellore. Special teams captain, Seattle Seahawks. The ultimate shill.
Get it. Keep it moving. Here we go. Keep it moving.
What I'm shilling is that we need to get on this early, and you need to get in here and drop this in because the more people that bet it, the odds go down, bro. I'm learning this shit. They protect themselves. That's my only shill moment.
They get worried.
If we all of a sudden start getting an army, you got to get these picks in. Like, we all got to try and do it quick before they sit here and be like, damn, now I'll send one from 10-1 to 8-1. So they're trying to protect their ass. Can't have it.
Got to get in while the getting's good.
Hundy P.
I think this is a good point to just kind of wrap this up. By the way, if you're ever in the need for a book, I don't know if you're watching this on YouTube, I highly recommend this book on biology right here. It's my favorite book on this bookshelf.
Whatever. On Sunday, I'm gonna be back at the bookshelf too. We're gonna be Luke in the books.
Yeah, whatever the top comment on the video is we'll grab the book and we'll read it. But folks, thank you for joining us on All Time with Luke Willson. This has been the start of
episode 0.
Episode 0. It's the start of something that could be a lot of fun. And what's this gonna look like next time you see us? You're just gonna have to tune in to find out. We'll see you guys then. Peace.